What is up, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of Our 60 Journey. So my name is Lucas, and I'm here to help us build healthy relationships. So I had no idea that I could go live on my computer. I've tried on my phone and my iPad like a million times, and it's always like, you're not eligible to go live. And then just now I went to go read what it takes to be live, and apparently I can do it on my computer. So I've been having a lot of thoughts lately about empathy versus narcissism, and I've been trying to really kind of decipher through my own energetic field of when it is that I'm being an empath and when it is that I'm being a narcissist. And I think there's a lot of crossed lines inside the two, because empaths by definition are people who feel. They feel emotions, they absorb the energy of others, and because of this, they can be a little strung out at times because they don't really know how they're feeling, because their antenna is so strong, they forget to stream their energy in from their soul, their higher self, unless you're actually an empath. I think that a narcissist is a wounded empath, because I think that through their own perceptions of their energetic force field, we'll call it, and through the wounds they've gone through, it's basically turned them into, like I'm seeing right now in my clairvoyance, a hamster inside one of those balls. So they're still an empath. They've created a force field. And because they don't trust life, they don't trust people, they don't trust themselves, what do? They reach out outside their ball to pull energy in from different places. And it's because they're not connected to their own divine source. Now, I've been in this huge, massive drama right now with a family member who is not seeing me the way that I see things, that I feel like is not, what is the word? I feel like they're creating their own perceptions of how things are going. And, you know, each of us has a different perception and reality of what it is that's happening, not only to us, but to other people and who we're involved with. And I'm wondering if that little, like right here, does that mean one person's here, or does that mean I'm the one person? We don't know. Never in the live streams. I don't know. I'll look it up. And I'm one of those people that in my mid-20s and before, I was anger explosive, where if someone made me upset, I would attack them back. I would call them names. I would basically create energetic trauma and hostility because I felt like I was being attacked, so I should attack you back. I'm very much a warrior at heart. But recently, the last several years, when I feel attacked and I feel like someone's not seeing me in a certain way, I still feel the need to make a statement of going, I understand where you're coming from. I understand that your perception and your reality is of your own. However, I have no accountability for how it is that you see me. I can take no blame for your faulty perceptions of me, and I accept how it is you see me, because I can't change your reality. I can't change your perception. I can't obviously do anything to make you feel better, because this is how you view me. And I think it's really important for us to be able to look at ourselves individually first and know when we are being empathic and when we are being a narcissist, because one of the key labels, one of the key clues that someone's being a narcissist is that they are trying to manipulate a situation or a circumstance or you, your emotions, your beliefs for the sake of what it is that they feel is right. And I've been really working on disarming people and creating boundaries, and I've had so many videos on this channel about boundaries. If you just go to my channel and type search and put the word boundaries, there's probably at least 5. And I think it's really important to know the dynamic that you're in, because what happens with me and narcissists is, because I'm an empath 85% of the time, see, honesty, is that what happens is something happens, they offend me, they insult me, they judge me, they do blank, 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 blank. And then what I end up doing is, after a period of time, that night, weeks later, months later, I want them back. I want the connection. So then what happens is I show up, I offer my responsibility, my accountability for what I see that I've done to create the situation, and I just forgive them and move on. And we're back to step one. And then usually sometime It doesn't usually take very long, within months. Steps are progressing. Usually around step 5, step 6, the middle, I start going, wait a minute, I'm having to walk on eggshells for you. I'm having to avoid conversations. I'm having to withhold energy and withhold words from coming out of me because I don't want to start a fight, which is never the right thing. Holding energy and holding your words in is the worst thing you can do. And then what happens is we get to step 9, which in numerology is the last step, right? And all of a sudden, boom, explosion. And all of a sudden I'm being attacked and XYZ and blah, blah. And what I've created now is when something's happening with somebody, I tell them my perception of it and go, you know, I feel like you are seeing this and this and this. I feel like also you are doing this and this and this to me, and that's unacceptable. I'm not going to receive that. And my most recent issue I'm having is I basically told this family member, I said, until you're ready to show up without having all this past energy, and if you cannot see me from where I see myself, I don't want you in my life. I'm going to need you to go over there because I don't want to feel like I'm being judged in person. You can judge me over there as much as you want, and I accept that. You can see me and perceive me as much as you want from over there, and I accept that. However, I do not accept your energy in person, because that's basically me opening my doors to a thief and say, go ahead, steal from me, take all my stuff, attack me. And it's one of those things where we have, and I'm getting tension now just thinking about like my heart space, like heart stay on, live compassionately. And it's so important that because generally, again, a narcissist, from where I'm sitting, standing, thinking, laying, from where I am, is a wounded empath. And we all go through those moments of where we feel out of control. And the biggest thing for any human is we want a certain level of control. Even if we're free flowing through life and you're super type B personality, there's still a level of control. You go choose what you eat, you choose your friends, you choose your job. We are always in control of our lives. And the thing about narcissists is because they've been manipulated so many times by people and abused by people, they end up becoming controllers. And it's a defense mechanism. And it's because when they don't feel seen, when they don't feel heard, when they don't feel respected, when they don't feel understood, they lock up and they start creating energy to make them feel seen, understood, heard, and it's manipulation. And even if they're doing it covertly and they're not being like an overt narcissist is someone who will actively blame you and shame you and make you feel like crap, right? But a covert narcissist is someone who comes in and they act and say and do things that you would think would be resonating with what it is that you need. But then after the space happens, so that all this is happening, you're feeling a certain thing. When the space happens and they leave, if you have any feelings of confusion and you start pondering through some of the things they said and trying to figure things out, that is covert narcissism. And it is so important that when you find those moments of feeling like you've been covertly narcissized, oh, I love these words I make up, covertly narcissized, that's a sign that they're not being genuine. They're not being authentic. They're having thoughts and feelings and emotions inside that they're only expressing to a certain percentage. They're only putting a certain amount of it out. That way they look a certain way, because again, I really believe it, narcissists are empaths that are wounded. These people want connection. They want love. They want to feel accepted. And if you go about acceptance through a way of not being genuine, you're manipulating the situation to fit you. And when that's happening, it's narcissism. It just is. And again, this situation I'm going through right now has really taught me a lot about myself, because I've been watching this channel called Empath's Refuge. It's on YouTube. I'm pointing over here because there's my screen, my computer, my screen. And I've been watching it, and as I'm watching these videos, I'm seeing things like these points of what makes an empath, what makes a narcissist, and I'm going, wow, I have traits on both ends. I need to work on these things. And you know, I see that in myself. I can admit that I know that sometimes I become a narcissist, that I emotionally manipulate people, and sometimes I don't realize I'm doing it until afterwards because, again, we're all wounded. We've all gone through trauma, and all of us are just trying to find the place of stability, the place of clarity, the place of community and acceptance. We all want that. And because we've all been through trauma and struggles, sometimes our struggles and our traumas just pop up and take over. And we don't realize they're happening until after the situation is over. And then when it's over, we're like, oh, I should have said this better. I could have said that better. I wish I would have known this. I wish I would have realized they were doing that. And if you're having to do that, it's because you're dealing with narcissism. And it might be yours and it might be theirs. Yours, theirs. It might be either one. But being aware and awake to it is what gives us the power to step out of the situation and become more transparent. And, I think something that my family member said to me is that they were doing it with good intentions and their heart was in the right place. And the road to hell is paved with good intentions. I get the word intend. I intended to make you happy. I intended to be supportive. I intended blank, 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 blank. But if any of those intentions came without full transparency and disclosure, it's manipulation. And just to give you a final background before I close the video, what was happening with this person is I think that there was a situation arising where my grandmother was going to move in with me. And I think that in this person's mind, they thought this would never happen. They thought that me and grandmother moving in together would never happen. And because of that, they wanted to be supportive of me, which is the good intention. Here's the good intention. So they're telling me all these positive, supportive things while thinking inside their mind, this is not going to happen. Then the situation arises. And it does happen. And what happened was last February, like last 2020 February, my lease was going to end in the end of June. And I think that, again, in this person's mind, I'm just gathering. I could be wrong. I accept if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I think that in their mind, grandma was going to move in. We were going to realize it wasn't going to work, and we were going to move out in June. That didn't happen. June came, we re-signed the lease. And then by the time October came, we really liked living together and decided, hey, we should get a house together. Let's build a house. Let's say this. And for that person, it didn't fit their story. It didn't fit what they thought was going to happen and what was best for the situation. And my issue with it was that they weren't telling me that until years later. This was like a 4-year building process. And I got upset. I hate being lied to. I really hate being lied to. And so, to each their own. And I honestly, I don't even have a grudge anymore. Like, there's not anger or frustration. I think it's just now I demand truth, and I demand full disclosure, and I demand that they come fully as themselves and being available and open. And that's been a hard one because as an empath / narcissist, I've had a lot of friends and a lot of family members and a lot of coworkers and a lot of bosses that have been both empaths and narcissists, and having to create boundaries with people and going, I will no longer accept this energy from you. And including myself, I'm not pointing a finger. I will no longer accept this energy from you. We have to create new healthy boundaries. And as long as that person denies that they did anything, I don't want to be around them anymore. So that's where we are. All right, now how do I end this video? End stream. You guys have a nice day. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share.